So I guess I was turning off my camera with my watch somehow. Anyways, it is time to do a top to bottom project pan update for you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get into that. So I am going to start with the bottom products. I already finished off 2 little samples of pure primer. Wasn't a fan of it. Those are gone. The next one that I have finished off is the Tartiest Pro Glow liquid highlighter in Stunner. I felt that this was too glittery for me personally. So I was using it when we went to the beach or went outside. I'd kind of like glitter up with it. And then I found I could use it if I just added it to some lotion. Because then it turned my lotion into kind of a shimmery lotion. So I have a little jar that's on my vanity in the bathroom that I mix like a small amount in. So I'd put a pea-sized amount of this in, mix in the lotion, and I'd use the lotion on my legs, my décolleté, my arms, and I'd be super shimmery. The kids pointed it out several times when we were like out and about that I was really glittery like a mermaid. But that is essentially how I used this guy up, and it is how I'm going to be using up some of my other liquid creamy type of highlights, just because I like liquid cream highlights. I just don't use them often. I'd rather just use a powder. It's so much easier. So some of the cream highlights, this is going to be how I use it up, is with the lotion, because I'm really happy. I actually used a whole, well, I think this is like a sample size, but I used, to me, a whole liquid highlighter. Kind of cheated to do it, but I used it up, so that's all that matters, right? The third item that is in the bottom part of my project is the e.l.f. Lip Lock Pencil. It is now broken, so it just kind of comes off, which is annoying, but we're gonna work with it. I don't bring this to work. I put it on and then put my lipstick on, go to work. That's just how it is. I don't reapply this because I can't travel with it being loose like that. But it started off up here. This was last update, and this is this update. So it took I didn't use as much this time, probably because it's broken. But I still feel like I can use this up before the end of the project. This doesn't end until September. It's only June, so I've got a couple months. I can definitely finish this guy off and get it out of the collection. Now for the top part, the top 3 items in the project were the Love Flush Blush in Baby Love. I will try to take some good pictures so you guys can see. The etching is just continuously wearing away. I have not hit pan on it yet, but this is honestly the only blush I've been using. Like, I haven't switched at all, so I'm sure I will. I think you guys can see the decent dip happening there. I'm making decent progress. I'm sure I'll hit pan. I'd say by the next update you'll see pan, and then I just got to work on finishing it all the way up. The next item is the Wet n Wild foundations that, as you know, I mixed, put in this pump. I was here for the last update. Oh, let's see if we can put it over here. So I was here for the last update. There wasn't a bunch of progress for the last month, and that's because I finished off what was actually in the glass bottles and then went back to using this pump. But from there, I've gone from here all the way up here. I had some issues with the container here, but it is still pumping and working well, so I'm sure that this will be gone in the next 1.5 to 2 months, which will put my collection down to half the amount of foundation that I started the year off with, which I think is pretty impressive. Even if I did give one to Haley because she ran out of foundation. The last item I have is the Wet n Wild Bronze Contour Palette. As you can see, I had to repress this. If you follow me on Instagram, you would know I shattered it. It's a really, really soft powder, so I was really worried about whether or not I was going to have an issue with repressing this, because powders tend to be softer after you repress them, which is why I've actually contemplated breaking up my Tarte Exposed blush and repressing it, just so that it's easier to get the pigmentation off of it. I'll probably end up doing that still. But before, when I would dip into this, it would kick up a lot of powder and you could see the bristle marks. I mean, you can kind of see the bristle marks in there now. But now, for whatever reason, it's not as bad. Like, it doesn't kick up as much. as it did. So I'm pretty impressed, but here it is. I repressed it. I can show you pictures of what it kind of looked like. A lot of redness came out. It is not wet any longer at all, but you can see kind of the reddish pigment that came out in it. After repressing it, I still like the powder. I'm going to use it up, but now I don't like it as much as I did. One of the reasons why I liked it so much is because it had more of a reddy than an orangey undertone, which I prefer. That's what my skin looks like when it is sun-kissed naturally. So I will use this up. I don't think it'll take me too long, to be honest. And I think you guys could see earlier, there's a decent dip going in this powder. The main focus is this one, but I am going to go ahead and use this guy up as well, which I think by the next update, there should be pan showing in that one. But I'll show you pictures of kind of the progress of how it went. And that is everything for this Project Pan update. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to check out Stephanie from Daisy Girly. She's the one doing this with me. I have her link down below. And Abby from Instagram is also linked down below because she's been following along and doing it as well. So give me a big thumbs up. Hope to see you in the next video, and bye guys.